everyone. Welcome back to the HeelCast. I'm Brother _, and this week I'm joined by my main man, the Chef. Chef, sup, bro?
I'm chilling, baby. Ready to go in with the legends I'm about to be working with.
That's awesome. Yeah, Chef, we got a treat for our listeners this week. The straight shooter himself, FK9. FK9, how you been?
I'm pretty good. We're recording on Sunday night this week, which means it was either this or watch Elimination Chamber, so here I am.
It sure as hell beats that. Now look, FK9, this week we've got a fourth, and it's that guy. The guy with the decrepit erection. The only guy I know that can study for a dry humping exam while waiting for his oil to be changed. The one and only Raven Effect. Raven, it's been a while, man. Cue the dick jokes, bud.
If only I was in the mood for them. I got a migraine today. Shitty day, shitty month, but, this is my release, so I'm here. Just apologize ahead of time if my migraine kind of gets in the way, but,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Could you tell the HeelCast listeners about this new career in dry humping that you're planning? I mean, it's been all over Facebook, man. You've been talking this thing up.
Yeah, dude. Like, there's some dude out there who literally convinced people that it's a science for dry humping, and people pay him for it. And the girl that they show on the video is actually super fucking hot. So, trying to do a career change, but knowing my luck, I'll get nothing but whales and tanks or no business. So, plus how you going to dry hump with a decrepit erection, right?
Well, that's the great part. It's a great way to mask the fact that you have a decrepit erection by keeping all your clothes on and dry humping.
I'm a never nude, like Tobias from Arrested Development. That's what it is.
Well, hey, look, there is a career for everybody, buddy, and I truly think that dry humping, it's got your name all over it, man. Did you ever finish getting your oil changed?
I did. It took like 2 fucking hours. I paid for the lifetime oil change with the Lithia company, so I milk it, get my money's worth out of it that I paid for, but yeah. And my car got repoed. My car got repoed on Tuesday, by the way. It took an entire day off of work to get my car out. Literally took me a solid 8 hours of nonstop bullshit, and Wells Fargo sucks, let me tell you that. What kind of bank can't take a payment over the phone? You're a bank. So it's been a rough month. This past week really sucked too on top of it, but, plugging along.
Damn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Raven Effect got that good credit, everyone. Sign up for dry hump, ladies. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just take over the hosting duties from me here, Brother _, since, you're straight out the reincarnation these days. And Chef wearing tutus and all this stuff I heard on the show last week. So,
Hey, don't mess with that. Don't mess with that, all right?
I'm good with that. I'm good. Can't have a Chef rocking the whole DCC mask in a tutu. That would ruin the DCC image more than John Gaburek did at this past taping. But we'll move right in. So check out TNAasylum.net. There's a lot of content this week, finally again, including our man Issues with Impact with FK9 himself. FK9, I saw your show posted up. You got a new one out, right? Just came out today?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Damn, FK9, you're doing things these days now. Check out FK9 show. I haven't got to it yet. Obviously, I plan to. This week on Impact on TNAasylum.net. And we have Josh Toth on TNAasylum.net with the greatest story never told. And so let's see. Someone, we don't know who wrote it, has something called Anthem, What They've Done So Far. And I'll just be quiet for a second here. King of the Mountain podcast, check them out.
Hey, special thanks out to BQ who hooked me up with the new podcasting mic, gave me great recommendations, so hopefully that works out. If it does work out, y'all can thank BQ, and if it doesn't work out, y'all can give him shit on Twitter. Maybe give him shit anyway. Either way, hook up with BQ on Twitter. Thanks, BQ.
Definitely. And also, want to give a shout out to our man, Numero 47, over at Diva Dirt, doing his thing over there. Numero, we miss you, buddy. One day we'll get you back on the show, I hope. But, our boy Numero, he's busy doing his thing over there, taking off. So, love you, Numero. Can't wait to have you back on someday, buddy. So, I listened to the show from last week, and you guys were talking about this Don West thing. and bring back Don West, the title of the show, and all that. So I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts. First, though, FK9, do you have any thoughts on if Don West were to come back to the booth? Is this something you're interested in?
You know, a couple of years back, they had him doing this heel Don West character. I honestly thought he was the best color commentator in the business at that time. And I told him as much when I met the guy at a live event. And, you know, the dude can sell icicles to an Eskimo when it comes to merchandise. And the same holds true for calling action in the ring. I mean, the guy, I can't think of anyone who does a better job than him. And if they could get him back in the booth, hell yeah. I mean, bring up the petition, I'd sign it. But as long as we're on the topic of announcing, I have some news. You're never going to guess what this is. This was big news to me. I guarantee it's going to be huge news to you guys. But you might want to sit down. Are you sitting down?
Yeah, man, what you got for us?
Yeah, okay. Well, as it turns out, we have, for the past however many months it's been, every Thursday night, had our wrestling show graced by the best play-by-play announcer in the world.
Who was that?
Well, according to Josh Matthews,
TNA, Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, home of the best wrestling in the world, now home to the best announcer in the world. According to Josh Matthews, it's Josh Matthews.
Are you fucking kidding me? His Oregon Duck Deer can't say that comment.
You're shitting me, right?
No. This is a real thing. I haven't seen it, but they've been doing this exclusive digital content thing, like My First Day, where they go around like various stars and they talk about their first day with the company. I haven't seen this, but they did one with Josh Matthews, and he called himself the greatest play-by-play announcer in the world. And well,
does he listen to himself?
I don't know, dude. I don't know if this was a shoot or what, but JB kind of gave him some shit about this on Twitter. You know, all these tweets have been deleted now, apparently, but
somebody call Al Michaels, for God's sake. His job's in jeopardy. I mean, get this man on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, JB.
Dude, Al Bundy could call wrestling better than Josh Matthews. My God.
Dude, Al Bundy could call wrestling better than anyone. Al Bundy was a fucking god. What are you talking about? But yeah, JB got in his face about this, and they kind of got into it a little bit with Matthews saying, "Go fly your drone," which apparently JB has been the one controlling Vanguard 1, which kind of broke my heart because I had always assumed that Vanguard 1 was artificially intelligent. So it's kind of burst my bubble there. Nobody tell Matt Hardy, because I think I'm upset enough for the both of us. But yeah,
JB ruined the mystique of Vanguard 1 on top of it.
Yeah.
So wait a second. Josh Matthews got into it with Jeremy Borash over announcing, right?
Yeah.
And Jeremy Borash is actually a better announcer than Josh Matthews.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, look, guys. I don't mean to hate on Josh Matthews or anything here, right? I mean, and I know bring back Don West might, you know, not really be good for Josh Matthews' career and everything. But that's more about bringing back Don West than being negative on Josh Matthews. But let's just throw this out for a second. How many times do you hear Tom Brady run around saying, "I'm the greatest quarterback in the world"? How many times do you hear Michael Jordan saying, "I'm the greatest basketball player in the world"? And how many times?
That's a terrible example.
How many times do you hear? Okay. Example.
Did you just compare Josh Matthews to Michael Jordan?
My point is,
well, and Jordan always talks about how great he is.
Look, here's the bottom line. When you are the greatest in the world, Josh Matthews, somebody else will say it for you. In the meantime, sit the fuck down. We might as well be the greatest podcast in the world, and Robbie E. might as well declare himself the greatest freaking wrestler in the damn world. All right? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Sometimes you just need to learn when to shut up. And by the way, I would love to know who edited that video. It was probably Jeremy Borash, who decided to not edit that out of the video. I mean, seriously, if you're a part of Impact Wrestling and somebody's dumb enough to say that, why the hell would you put that on the show to begin with?
Like Matt,
because he's the greatest of all time.
And space.
Even better than Gordon Soley,
You know what?
according to Josh Matthews.
You can
From
go
now
from
on, Josh Matthews should just.
winning announcing
Josh-
performance.
Josh Matthews should be known as the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
thing is, Madison Rain wouldn't even say Josh Matthews is the best announcer that there is. Truthfully, she's fucking better than he is already.
On that one, man.
But at least, you know what, like, we can bash Josh Matthews, but he pulled that and he made out with Jackie Gata. I mean, I got nothing. Like, there you go, Josh. You wrecked Duck Deer and bang Madison Rain. At least I can do one of those two things. Fucking hate my life. Anyways, so back to this Don West thing. You know, back in the days, and I mean, I love the old school TNA. The 2006 to 2009 is really, in my opinion, their best years. You know, Don West used to bother the shit out of me because I used to think that this guy oversold literally everything. And Chef even said, you know, it could be the most bland, generic thing, and Don West would sell it like it's just the biggest thing you've ever seen. Now, be careful what you wish for, because I kind of always wanted him gone. And look, when Taz came in, like, I liked Taz as an announcer back in the days, and I'm an ECW guy, so I mean, I'm a big Taz fan from what he used to do in the ring with ECW. And I thought Taz and Snay were good at first. Clearly, Taz checked out. Taz got terrible. There's some one night only DVDs I have, and Taz and Snay doing commentary. Like, they're not even talking wrestling. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about half the time. It got awful. It really did. And, you know, when Mike Tenay lost all of his passion, it seemed, except for, like, Slammiversary 2015 when he very briefly came back, it stunk. And, you know, that's when you start to miss Don West. And, look, the thing is now, I mean, I like Pope. Josh Matthews just doesn't sell anything. And I always go back to this. The first episode on Destination America, Bobby Lashley defeats Bobby Roode and wins the heavyweight championship that time. I swear to God, Josh Matthews called it like a hot tag, if even that. It was literally the most undersell and degrading value of your world title changing hands I had seen. Josh Matthews sold the stuff when EC3 got pinned by Bennett clean for the first time, and that's literally the only thing I've heard the guy sell. So, yeah, I would much rather have Don West, a guy who's actually going to make something sound important, come on and do commentary. And the main reason I say this is because that guy that sits next to Josh Matthews is a star. That dude in 2010 should have been the guy that became the world champ. This guy should be the Pope should be a household name. You know, he reminds me of The Rock with his promos. I've heard some people say Dusty Rhodes, but the Pope is one of, if not the best promos in the business. And look, that window for Pope is closing because A, you're seeing him on commentary, and that's what people are going to start to think of him as, and B, how much time does the guy have left? And I think they're making the same mistakes with EC3. You know, I kind of see some similarities with them dropping the ball with EC3 like they did with the Pope. Clearly, they've done something with EC3 where the Pope should have been years ago, but, you know, that's just how I feel. And the thing is, I mean, so, guys, does Don West replace Josh Matthews or does he replace the Pope? Or do we have a 3-person broadcast team? I would personally rather see Borash and Don West than anything. FK9, what are your thoughts?
Well, Borash and Don West would be ideal. But, you know, right now, as far as we know, Don is only there to liquidate the merchandise warehouse. So one thing at a time. I mean, let's get him back with the company full time, and then we can figure out how to get him back in the announce booth.
You know, I throw out there that, yeah, he's going to liquidate the stuff in the warehouse. But my guess is that, you know, what's Don West going to do when he's done that? And he probably would be willing to come back one full time if they gave him a role. And I think it would be a great role. I agree with Jeremy Borash and Don West in part because I truly do believe that Jeremy Borash is better than Josh Matthews. The key is the Pope there. I don't necessarily want to see the Pope out, but I think maybe we try to get the Pope back in the ring. You know, what are the chances of that? He said he would do it if there were gold potential. Well, you know what? Let's get him there.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. That's all I'm going to say because you both just, like, completely said everything I could possibly say, so I'm with it.
I gotcha. Now, another thing that I assume you're going to be with is Impact's announced the tapings from March 2nd through the 5th. Coming up, Chef, I assume you're going to be there?
Yeah, I'll probably maybe miss one, but I doubt it. I'll have someone come in for me.
I hear you. Brother underscore, any thoughts or anything you want to add to this tapings from March 2nd through the 5th?
Yeah, it's only 4 days. So the marathon tapings are going to be gone. We're going to have content that's a little bit fresher. There's going to be more to talk about, more to have a buzz about. It's going to cost them more money, but that's the nice thing about having a CEO on board is he should be managing all of this and probably is managing all of this. So to me, it's very exciting. I just hope that, they let Shep in the arena after all the things he's been saying on the HeelCast, that we aren't getting him, blackballed from the arena.
Just before I let FK9 go, I reminded me of something I want to bring up to the Chef here on the spot before we move on to Impact tonight. So I'm going to add that on there. But FK9, anything you want to add on here?
No, you guys covered all of it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, here's something I'm actually excited about. And FK9, I'm going to go right back to you because I think you might have some stuff you want to add. Scott D'Amore, back with TNA, added a creative for one and working international relations. FK9, it's common fact during the height of the Knockouts division, Scott D'Amore was in charge of that. Your thoughts on this one?
I think it's great. I think D'Amore was probably one of the best people they ever had in terms of putting a match together. I don't know about actual writing angles and stuff. That's a different story, but yeah, they got D'Amore and now and Mantell as well back in there, and those were the guys who were really spearheading the knockout division back when it was really damn good and really turning a lot of heads. So we could probably expect the knockouts to level up in the not too distant future. One thing that does kind of concern me though is that they're kind of taking a step back, not necessarily in a bad way yet, but it's kind of they're going back to what worked before rather than trying to push forward. And, okay, maybe there's a safety blanket there, but at the same time, I don't necessarily know if, Mantell and D'Amore are going to be the guys to kind of push the needle forward. Maybe it'll get company creatively back into some kind of stability, but in terms of, pushing the envelope or something, I don't know if that's going to do it. But I am happy to see D'Amore back, absolutely.
Chef, what are your thoughts on Scott D'Amore returning?
I love it. I mean, as long as Gabor isn't fucking writing shit because his fucking brain is stuck on stupid, the man is high on pitching shit or something. So I mean, Scott D'Amore, like you guys said, the man is he's legit, and Dutch. I think both of them are gonna do some ill shit, and I think we're gonna see how it pans out in March, and then whatever happens after that. 4 tapings that should only take you through, the next month.
I really hope that Ed Nordholm is really running the show and not Jeff Jarrett. And it's not that I have a problem with Jeff Jarrett. I'm a huge Jeff Jarrett guy. I'm a Jeff Jarrett fan in the ring, out of the ring. I love the concepts that he's doing with GFW. The only thing is that I think that we need to make sure that we don't lose some of the good creative work that's been done over the last year. And I realize with Billy Corgan leaving, a lot of that leaves with it. But I don't want to see this new regime come in and do anything to change the dynamic of the Broken Hardys. I don't want to see them change the decay. There are certain things that have been going on that the company's been doing really well. And one of the things that I like that I've seen so far was the return of Open Fight Night. That gives me pause to think that, they're taking an Eric Bischoff concept that worked and people liked, and they're going to use it again in 2017 because it worked. But I really hope that all these new guys coming in don't undo some of the good things that have been done. Take the things that aren't working, fix them. But please, 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 don't break what isn't broken. Don't try to fix it, because all you can do is break it.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I mean, FK9 says they're going back to some old things that worked in the past. And I agree that there needs to be innovation and things need to change, but I also think that TNA for years has really needed to go back to what worked in the past, and that was kind of storylines revolving around wrestling. I'm excited to see Scott D'Amore is back. It feels like with Dutch, with D'Amore, with Jeff Jarrett, it seems like they have people coming back that really should have never left the company in the first place, that really knew what they were doing and made the company better. I don't want Gebjork around at all. I don't think that's really going to shock anyone here. Matt Conway, I don't know about. I fear that Vinny Rue is probably being tossed around, especially with Jarrett and, the names that are coming in. So I don't know how to feel about that part. But, look, I think that Diamore knows how to put a match together. I think we'll see the Knockouts division do better again. I think we'll see Creative do better again. And I think we'll see great wrestling in TNA again, which, let's be honest, for the past few years, it's been real short matches unless it's been one of their big pay-per-views. So I'm excited to see this. I think it's the right decision. Now, another thing that's slightly interesting to say the least. So TNA has partnered with Pro Wrestling Noah, which I believe is from Japan. I don't know much about them other than I know Killer Elite Squad was part of them. Chef, what's your thoughts on this new pairing?
I know they just went through some bankruptcy or something like that, but I don't know, anything to be able to get their wrestlers over here, our wrestlers over there. I know Moose said he's already going over there. So, I mean, like I said, if we can get fresh faces and we could get some of our guys over there and somehow Impact puts it on TV, it's just more ways to try to get more viewers. So I'm with it. I think they need a whole lot more partnerships, and obviously you wouldn't have to sign guys to long-term deals if they're only coming over once in a while.
Guys, ROH has been doing the same thing with New Japan, right? They have an alliance, and most people think, well, hey, it's really benefiting New Japan because we're seeing a lot of New Japan matches on ROH television. The truth is it's benefiting the wrestlers that wrestle for Ring of Honor because they have the ability to go wrestle elsewhere and make a buck. And this is something that I like with what I'm seeing here with Impact and Pro Wrestling Noah. And there are some more that they're apparently working on as well. And the key with all of this is that as they try to build these different relationships, they're not only allowing themselves to do what you guys are saying, which is bring in talent without having to sign talent and give them guarantees, but they're also giving their wrestlers the ability to travel, the ability to work the world and make a dollar. And this is very, very, very similar to what you saw Jeff Jarrett trying to do with GFW. Only maybe they got a little bit better platform here. So, yeah, terribly exciting. And this is why I say, I'm excited to have Jeff Jarrett back in the fold. I'm excited to have, Scott and Dutch and the other folks in the fold as well. Like I said before, I don't think that everything is necessarily broken. I think the Knockouts are doing great work right now. So let's just augment it. Let's accent it. Let's make those things better. Let's make everything better, but let's not throw and start over either.
I think this is sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say FK9.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's great that they're trying to cultivate some kind of international relationship with these other companies, especially if we can get some kind of talent exchange thing going. It gives the wrestlers more place to work if they can go over to Japan for a few shows there. If we can get some of the Pro Wrestling Noah talent over here, that would be very beneficial because we've got plenty of spots to fill on the roster, and apparently the Anthem people don't want to make any big signings for the next year or so. That's troubling. So if we can get some new faces on the roster, that would be very helpful. But I just hope that they take this relationship and actually do something with it, because there have been times in the past when the company has had these relationships with other companies. I'm thinking of AAA specifically, and those relationships really didn't go anywhere. I mean, what did they get out of the relationship with AAA? Not much. I mean, they sent a couple people down there. I think they unloaded Hernandez on AAA for a while, and that was helpful because it got Hernandez off my television, which I was very grateful for. But what talent did they get from AAA to use on Impact? I don't think they got anybody. So they just sent people down to Mexico, and that was the extent of that relationship. So hopefully this thing with Pro Wrestling Noah is a little more productive than that was.
I think, when you mentioned AAA and all that and the bad relationships that have never benefited TNA, and what was the one with Muda's promotion where they got Sonata and all that. I think the best part about this is Dixie and Gebjork aren't running it. It's people that know what they're doing this time around. Although we can say, the New Japan TNA relationship got kind of fucked over years ago too. So who knows what's going to happen? I don't know anything about Pro Wrestling Noah, except I know a couple years back that the Killer Elite Squad was their tag team champions. FK9 said that their Anthem's not looking to do any big signings for the next year. Didn't know about that. That sucks. But look, I want to see Killer Elite Squad in TNA. I've been saying this since the start of last year. I want to see Killer Elite Squad take on the Decay. I want to see the Killer Elite Squad take on the Killer Delete Squad. I want to see them against the DCC. I love these two. I want to see them come in here and kick some ass. And we have people that know what they're doing in the X Division. I'm sure we can get some new X Division talents, some tag teams, some knockouts involved in this. Brother underscore brings up the Ring of Honor New Japan Pro Wrestling relationship, and I fucking hate that. And I haven't watched ROH in a while. A lot of it's been storyline related. And Brother underscore and I talk a lot about this on the show, but dude, I am so fucking sick and tired of watching the ROH talent just get buried by the New Japan guys every time I would turn on the TV. And for the love of God, I don't give a shit about the Bullet Club. It is annoying. Shut up, Marks. It is not cool. It's just, I do not want to see something like that. I don't want to see TNA have their talent get buried by Pro Wrestling Noah or whatever. If anything, TNA should be going stronger because TNA is a bigger brand. But hopefully this benefits. TNA needs new talent. Hopefully something with GFW happens too. And the right talents from GFW come into TNA as well as the right talents from Pro Wrestling Noah. It'll be kind of shitty to have Moose off TV for a while, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to start with FK9 on this one again because I know FK9 has been big on this girl for a long time. But was it Portugal's perfect athlete, Shanna? She wrestled Rosemary for the Knockouts title at Kamikaze Pro Wrestling in Birmingham, England. Andrew Everett and Eddie Kingston were there. FK9, I know you've been big on Shanna and want to see her in TNA for a lot of years now. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this off to you. Your thoughts on all this?
If nothing else, it was an opportunity for Shanna to make another good impression. She had a tryout a while back when they were doing one of their tours of the UK. I forget which one it was exactly, but she was part of the Gut Check Challenge, the online voting thing that they had the fans voting on to see who they wanted to see get a tryout, and it came down to Shanna and Bad Bones John Klinger, and apparently they both got tryouts on that tour. And she wrestled Gail Kim at the time. I thought it went really well, aside from one spot. I always thought they were stupid to pass her up because, I've said this a million times, but Shanna's about as pre-packaged as a talent gets. There's literally no work involved. You just take her and you put her on TV. She's even got her own music you can use. You don't have to bug Dale Oliver to churn out another crappy generic theme for her. She's got her own music. Just put her on TV. That's all it takes. And they didn't sign her at the time. Don't know why. Stupid move then. But yeah, she gets to wrestle the Knockouts champion here, and a couple other TNA stars in attendance. So it's another opportunity for her to make a good impression. I don't expect anything to come from it, but hey, if she gets to make a good impression with some of these people, they could pass that word along. Maybe get in Ed Nordholm's ears, hey, you need to sign this person. She's great. So fingers crossed, at least. How about you, Chef? What do you think about this?
FK9, you've been on this Shanna thing for a while. Didn't you have a hashtag Shanna for TNA going on Twitter too? So this is definitely your gal, and allowing Rosemary to take the TNA Knockouts Championship across the pond and wrestle in Birmingham, I think is great as well. And they also sent, let's face it, Andrew Everett and Kingston to that show. So Kamikaze Pro Wrestling had 3 TNA talents. We're seeing Shanna. I saw the tryout match. I thought it was very good as well. You pointed me to a bunch of links for Shanna at the time on YouTube. Listen, folks, if you haven't checked her out, check her out. Her matches are great. Her mic works great. Everything FK9 is saying, she is prepackaged and ready to go. They can bring her in for a set of tapings and then just use her. They don't have to sign her to a full contract. Just bring her in on a paper appearance or something. Chef, what do you think about Shanna?
I haven't seen a lot of her work. I've seen maybe 4 or 5 matches, but she's impressive. And I haven't seen a lot of promo stuff, but I'm going to take your word for it because you guys are crazy smart with this shit. But, look, if you're going to bring these 2 guys in who obviously, had the fucking knockouts doing their thing, we do need more knockouts. You know what I mean? You don't want to see the same repetitive shit. And this chick, you could just throw into the mix and literally that match versus Rosemary, you're like, damn, that chick could really actually beat her. So that's fucking pretty impressive to me.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of Shanna either. I have listened to FK9 for years. I know how big FK9's been on the bandwagon. The little things I have seen of her, it is very impressive. So, and I don't even like the PPA stuff. You guys know me. I want the fucking talent to get invested in. And I want to see talent on the Impact roster, and I want to see the roster grow. But definitely I'd like to see her come in. It's cool that the Knockouts title was defended in another country, get it more exposure. Granted, TNA is pretty big in the UK, but it's definitely a positive. Hopefully we can see something more. So I guess in some summer news, Chavo Guerrero Sr., father of Chavo Guerrero Jr., former half of tag team champions with FK9's Boy Hernandez, passed away at 68 years old. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. Rest in peace, Chavo Classic. Brother underscore, anything you want to chime in and say?
Nah, rest in peace, Chavo Sr. Only wish that Chavo Jr. would have gotten a little bit better treatment on his way out the door.
Chef, any thoughts? Anything you need to say?
Nah, man, just another RIP. Like, you don't want to see nobody pass. So, God bless him and his family. Well, obviously his family. So it is what it is.
FK9?
Yeah. Don't have a whole lot to say. Just, RIP. Sad news. I don't want bad things to happen to anybody, so just, send some well wishes out to the family there.
Right now, so Yahoo Sports picked up the Hardy teleportation story, apparently. This is news to me. I'm just reading this for the first time. So, brother underscore, why don't you go ahead and explain all this or whatever you found out.
Yeah, so basically there's an article out there from Yahoo Sports talking about how the Hardys are now able to teleport. And, I think that this is great. This is, once again, the Hardys promoting Impact by using their name and some of the cool stuff that they're doing to get some mainstream media. We need more of this stuff. Every little bit helps. And anytime you get picked up by a Yahoo Sports, that's a great thing for the company. So congrats to the Hardys.
And think about how much money the company is going to save on travel costs now that they have a working teleporter.
I hadn't even thought about it that way, FK9. That is awesome. And where can I get one of those, right? Because I want to come down to the Impact Zone, but it takes a while for me to get there. If I could teleport, I could be in there and I could be back home, put the kids to bed.
Chef, any thoughts on this? I know you're digging the Matt Hardy thing going on, and especially all the eyes that Matt Hardy's bringing to the product.
You know what, man? I don't even want to go into it because I don't even feel like he is putting eyes on the product, but whatever. I mean, Vanguard 1, I love Vanguard 1. Vanguard 1's legit, but, cool. You're a fucking teleportation device. That doesn't surprise me because Vanguard 1 is over as fuck. Whatever.
I love in 2017 that a drone has gotten over. Think of all the talent that TNA couldn't get over, yet a fucking drone has gotten over. It's good. It's Yahoo. It's bigger than just, signing into a random pro wrestling site that most wrestling fans probably don't even go to start with. So it's good. Hopefully it brings in some viewership, some eyes back on TNA. We know we got, Psychosis and Super Crazy against Brother Moore and Brother Brother Nero next week. Man, I would have loved this if both teams were in their prime. But yeah, definitely good for them. I don't know if anyone else saw this too, but did you see Kim Kardashian channel the Bret Hart look over the weekend or something like that? She's rocking his shades and the leather jacket.
What?
Yeah.
That's all Bret Hart needed, a fucking whore to rock his outfit.
You let that fucking whore rock your outfit anytime, Chef. As much as you
I won't confirm or deny that.
You and your decrepit erection wouldn't be so decrepit if she was rocking it, buddy.
Only if she rocks my tutu.
That's right. Hey, speaking of your tutu, man, every time I look at your avatar on Skype, man, it kind of gives me the chills. That's just dope and messed up at the same time.
It's fucked up because I've had people at work like, yo, what the fuck is up with your picture, bro? You look like a fucking murderer. I'm like, yo, my bad.
And the thing that surprised me the most was like Kim Kardashian actually knew Bret Hart because I mean Bret Hart's white, so I mean I was just not expecting her to know who he was. But I guess cool for Bret Hart. But moving on. So apparently Jeff Jarrett's trying to set up a meeting with the people who do ITV World of Sport, which is UK based. They want someone to run their wrestling operation, so apparently Jeff Jarrett's going to be working with 3 companies by chance. This is also news to me. I had no idea. Chef, thoughts?
Well, you said 3. I only know of 2 because, I don't. Like I said, GFW is not really anything. It's nothing. So congratulations to him for getting back into Impact, getting on with them. You know, GFW to anybody, I mean, it's not out there, so it's like a make-believe fairy tale.
I think this is actually another Impact venture. So I think this is him trying to create international relationships for Impact at this point. That's at least what I read. So they're trying to see if they can get Impact to run the ITV World of Sport and basically try to work that in there. That's how I read the article anyway.
Heenan, you got anything?
Not really. Just more places for the talent to work, more places for the company to get the name out there. I don't really have a whole lot here. You know, good. They have more international relationships. Maybe they can get their UK TV deal back. That'd be nice.
If they were actually able to put that product together, my understanding is that they want to launch. And, you know, anytime you're in show business, if you want to launch, you're launching, right? We're launching in March. Well, they don't have anybody signed yet. They don't have a place to have a venue or whatnot. This could be a great opportunity for Impact Wrestling to get back into the UK, which is a market that they really need to get back into. So this could be yet another revenue stream. And this is what I really like about what Jeff Jarrett and Ed Nordholm are doing. They're trying to establish different revenue streams to the company, which is, let's face it, they're cash deprived, folks. So they need this.
Yeah, I don't know much about this thing at all. So I'm really not going to say much to it. I mean, I wonder if Jarrett might be biting off a little more than he can chew right now at this point, but we'll see. Now, dude, you were kind of saying that it kind of looks like Jarrett's trying to create an international relationship with like TNA, NOAH, Crash TV, and ITV, judging from these recent meetings. And apparently the biggest issue is most of the Crash TV stars are under a Lucha Underground contract and couldn't appear on Impact. Is that correct?
Well, first of all, dude is dead, right? I don't know where you got that.
That's right.
He got deleted. This is Brother Underscore you're talking to, out of the Lake of Reincarnation. Only instead of having a dilapidated boat, I have a dilapidated direction, because this is the HeelCast, and we do dick jokes on the HeelCast, even bad ones. But, it looks like they're really trying to create international relationships, and most of the Crash TV stars are under Lucha contract, so wouldn't be able to appear on Impact. So that's one of the problems with Crash TV right now.
FK9, anything?
Nah, I got nothing.
Chef?
I mean, if they're going to go back to the UK is fucking flooded with talent. I mean, you got I don't think they can use ICW no more, but you have that What Culture, you have Progress. I mean, you got so many fucking talented stars out there that I'm sure, with all the guys they have from the Euro, like, you could bring a lot of these guys in on, like you keep saying, like, these part-time things, unless you're going to be a full-time promotion out there. But, I mean, the UK, to me, right now, has got all the best talent in the world right now. But that's just me being a fucking homer to, like, a certain group.
I think Lucha Underground has a lot of talent. I'm not a fan of the show and how it's ran and all that, but, I'd like to see some of their talent show up on Impact, but don't know how that's going to end up. Probably won't, because they got some fucking weird contracts, but we can go ahead and move on from there. Let's see. I did not see this part, but so this is fantastic news. Apparently, so Anthem has been talking about cutting pay, and there is concern amongst the talent that Jarrett could bring in GFW talent. Well, that just fucked up my day even more. Chef, thoughts on this?
I don't even know who's on their roster anymore, because I know one time I was like, oh, they got the Bollywood boys, but they're in NXT right now. I mean, I know like 4 people, so I don't know how many people they're really thinking about bringing in. Look, just fucking bring back Bennett, bring back Galloway, bring back the fucking Hardys, even though I care less about them. And just, I mean, you got so many young, talented fucking guys, especially in Orlando. Just, Jesus Christ, throw these guys a few fucking chips. Let them, they're going to do what they're going to do. You don't need Ryback and whoever the fuck else that, people want to see. Just use your money wisely. You got so many young talent that they're not going to ask for a fucking billions of dollars.
When we heard the news that Anthem wanted to do like more TV tapings and tape less TV over each one, so we don't have to do these marathon TV tapings where we're doing like months and months of TV all at the same time, we knew it was going to cost money. So is this where the money is going to come from? Just cutting the pay of the talent? Because that sucks, quite frankly, and it's not going to make the company a more enticing option for any indie workers out there that want to come to the big stage or whatever. It's just going to make them more likely to lean towards WWE. And then you've got this, GFW talent, really? I mean, who the hell was on GFW's roster? I didn't even know they still had a roster, for crying out loud. I mean, there are plenty of reasons why that company never went anywhere. I'm assuming at least part of it was the roster. So, I mean, do they have anyone that's any good still?
They got Superstar Magnus.
Oh yeah, but I mean, does he want to come back? I mean, I love the guy, but he parted on pretty bad terms with the company last time we saw him.
Guys, first of all, let's take this as a rumor. We know that Anthem has, quote, been talking about cutting pay. Basically, they don't want to be able to not sign and, enrich the roster. And the concern is real simple. We're having a regime change. Jeff Jarrett's back, and he has folks that have been working GFW shows for him. Now, guys, I know we joke about the roster of GFW being non-existent, and, well, we could probably just talk just as long about GFW itself being non-existent. But there's a call list, right? There's, Jeff Jarrett's phone dollar. And I think that folks are looking at it and saying, if anybody but the top talent decide that they want to go and they want to leave, then Jeff Jarrett's just going to be like, hey, look, it's just a mid-card talent. I can bring somebody in to replace them. We've already seen Hornswoggle. I think he was a guy that was linked to GFW come in as well. And, of course, if I remember correctly, Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett, they came from GFW initially anyway. So I think this is just real simple. Eric Bischoff did this when he came on board, right? He brought back all of Hogan's cronies. And now you see Jeff Jarrett. And so, yeah, if I'm a talent in TNA and I see the company's not doing well and I see the company's talking about cutting pay and cutting costs, yeah, I'm going to be nervous. That's normal. We've been hearing this in TNA for years and years and years. The only difference now is it's no longer Dixie Carter, it's Anthem. They'll probably be a little bit more straight up about it. So I would say this is something to look for and see how it transpires. But let's let it play out too.
Yeah, this GFW thing and the Anthem cutting the talent, all that. A couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the GFW talent, we brought up Donkey Kong or Congo Kong or whatever the fuck the guy's name is. And we mentioned Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay Dutt's now teaching at NXT. I just found out Lady Tapa is going to NXT. These were people on that roster. I mean, the Bullet Club was there at one point. Brian Myers, I could give a shit less about the guy. But, I mean, these are – from 2 years ago when they launched that GFW roster and all that, I mean, these were guys, these were talents that I remember. Obviously Magnus being the big one. Like I like Magnus a lot. I would love.
Hang on a second, Random Effect. Did you just say that Lady Tapa is head to NXT?
That's what I heard.
Did you just say that Magnus got shot down by NXT?
He got shut down for worse. He got shut down for their UK only tournament.
Are you seriously shitting me to say that Lady Tapa has gotten farther in her WWE career than Magnus?
Tapa had a tryout. That's all we know right now.
Tapa got tapped out when she went to Bellator, man.
She did fight another man, but yeah.
Jesus Christ, Magnus.
She took more unnecessary blows in that fight than Holly Holm did, that's for sure. But, I don't ever see Magnus coming back until John Gaburik's fat ass is out of the company. And I would love to see Magnus back. Some names I can remember from GFW: Shelton Benjamin. I love the guy still. I still think he's a great wrestler. Was it Christina Von Eerie and Santana Garrett were there? Of course, Killer Elite Squad was still on that roster. But I just this GFW thing. It's time to put a bullet in it and condense it into TNA. Bring that talent in. Build the TNA roster. Anthem not wanting to sign anyone or making cuts. If this is true, it sucks. Because I'm gonna tie this in, but we haven't heard anything on Drew Galloway. We haven't heard anything on the Miracle Mike Bennett. The Miracle Mike Bennett comes along with Maria Kanellis Bennett. We haven't even heard about the Hardys. There's still nothing out there, and this has caused a concern for me. These are literally 4 talents that I don't think they can lose, and 5 if you count Maria. I don't think they can lose it. I don't think people understand the value of Maria Kanellis. Chef, I know you're kind of big on Maria too, so I'll kick it to you. Your thoughts on this one? Just still no news on these guys?
No, I haven't heard jack shit, but I agree completely. You need to bring all of them back. And I know Maria said she only wanted to be back for like a year because she was going to go back and get her degree or whatever. But Maria puts everybody over. If you want somebody to be a star, I don't give a shit if it's fucking Swaggle. You put that little dude next to her, all of a sudden you're like, Swaggle for champ. You know what I mean? Like, she's just fucking sick with it. The Hardys, obviously I'm not a fan of these fucking guys, but they're fucking over as fuck. Bennett to me is a world champ. Drew, I love Drew to death. I think he's another fucking megastar. And if you're going to make cutbacks, just say they lose 1 or 2, the roster's fucking small already. If you lose anybody, it looks fucking epic. All of a sudden, you're going to have fucking stupid-ass fucking Meltzer trolling fucking Impact. Oh, look, they can't afford shit, blah, 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 blah. Makes it look bad again. It was fucking weak, man. Like, bring these motherfuckers back. Put it out in the open. Like, yo, we got these guys already or whatever they're going to do. Just get the shit done with, because if you lose those guys and then you bring in some fucking scrubs you never heard of, it's going to look real bad.
Do you really think the Hardys are going anywhere? They are having more fun than like anybody ever. Those guys are loving life. They're loving what they're doing, and they're loving their schedule. They're not going anywhere. Drew Galloway, he says he wants to make the most amount of money the quickest possible now because he had the injury, and he's rethinking his career. Newsflash, Drew Galloway can work 1 week a month for Impact and probably make more in that 1 week than he can make anywhere else. Okay? So he can still work the other 3 weeks and do what he wants to do. It's a no-brainer. Mike Bennett, by all accounts, was built for Impact Wrestling. There's no reason the guy would not want to come back. And the guy has done everything that they've asked of him, and he's done it, and he's nailed it. Okay? He brings his wife with him. In fact, the only person more valuable than him is probably her. Okay? This is all a no-brainer that they should be able to get these deals done. If I'm Ed Nordholm and Anthem, I understand that they're trying to figure out the books. I understand they're trying to cut costs, and they're trying to negotiate with talent, and they don't want to set the wrong precedent walking in with the talent and how they're going to handle contracts. But what a statement that it would make for Ed Nordholm and Jeff Jarrett to announce that we've re-signed Drew Galloway, we've re-signed Mike Bennett, and your Hardys, they're not going anywhere. Impact Wrestling fans, this is what you've wanted, and this is what we're going to give you. Make a statement with them. Make them your top guys, along with the guy that's been forgotten about, EC3. Okay? Please, I don't care what you do. Don't throw that man to the side. I don't care if his last name is friggin' Carter. Change it. I don't give a shit. Call me the Anthem. I don't care. He's money in your bank. So let's get that done. And let's put those folks at the top of the card. And let's not forget about Eli Drake. Okay, let's not forget about Lashley. Those guys deserve to be at the top of the card too. But let's just get the top of the card situated. Let's hunker down. Let's get it done. There's no need to wait. They're all going to resign. I truly believe that.
If you put a gun to my head, I would say that Drew and Mike and the Hardys will probably all stick around for all the reasons that Brother Underscore stated, but it is definitely concerning that it's gone this far and this long without us hearing any news about any re-signings. Like, apparently Mike Bennett's on a PPA deal at this point, which that really bothers me, especially considering how hot the guy was last year and how likely it is that other people would want to snatch him up. I can't believe WWE hasn't made a play for the guy already. But yeah, they got to get these guys back. I think they will, but until we see some news about it, it's really bothersome. And Maria too. And also, getting a little off topic here, but I'm so sick of people giving Maria shit. Like saying, oh, they shouldn't sign Maria. They should just let her go back to school if she wants to leave because she's worthless. She can't wrestle, blah, blah, blah. It's not just about the wrestling, you stupid marks. Do you understand how valuable Maria was as a talent last year? She was one of the MVPs of the freaking roster, and she barely got in the ring in 2016. This girl makes everyone around her better. And I'm not talking about in the ring. I mean on the mic as a character. She got Allie as over as she is. Allie is one of the most over people on the roster right now because of Maria. Now she's doing her working her magic with LVN and Braxton Sutter and all that stuff. She gets everyone around her over, and I'm so sick of people not understanding that. Just if you don't like her as a wrestler, fine, but give her the credit she deserves, man. Seriously. And so they got to get Mike back. They got to get the Hardys back. They got to get Drew back. They got to get Maria back too. Just, again, if you really pressed me, I'd say I think they're all going to stick around. But until we get like definitive confirmation that they've all been re-signed, I'm going to be nervous.
On the Maria stuff that FK9 just said, I literally couldn't have said it any better myself. FK9 is also a lot more well-spoken than I am, but that Maria is fantastic, and you're right. I don't give a shit. Anyone that tries to say Maria is invaluable because she can't wrestle or isn't a great wrestler has literally no idea what they're talking about. Jimmy Hart and Bobby Heenan, they didn't do that shit either, really. So they don't know what they're talking about there. Maria is fantastic. She is literally the reason that, Allie has gotten so big. She is the reason that Dixie Carter thing worked. Her stuff with Gail Kim, all of that. To be honest, I don't think Broken Matt's going to go anywhere. Drew Galloway, what's he going to go back to WWE? Look how they treat him. Drew Galloway is literally the best wrestler on this roster, in my opinion. Drew Galloway is the one guy that'll go out and have a good match with literally anyone, which TNA can't afford to lose. I expect Jeff Hardy to re-sign. I don't know how cheap Anthem's going to be, but Jeff Hardy's the one I could see taking the big bucks to go back to the WWE. I'll be honest, I think we're going to see the end of Mike Bennett. I don't think he's happy. I think he's had plenty of issues. I think it's a huge mistake because I think this is a star and a future world champion that TNA could be letting go. Re-sign them. It sucks, because we don't know what Anthem's budget is like, but these are 5 talents that you just can't let go. Shit, do it for Braxton Sutter, Dixie. For Christ's sake, even Braxton Sutter is kind of getting over now because of Maria and LVN and all that. Apparently Anthem's been creating more digital exclusive content, like they did a Day in the Life of Moose, FK9's boy Robbie E. I don't watch this stuff. I just don't have any interest. Good for them, I guess. FK9, any thoughts on these things that they're doing?
Yeah, if you were going to do digital exclusive content to draw more interest to the YouTube channel or whatever, why on earth would you have like Robbie E be one of the first people you do it with? Just why? Did no one think that wouldn't be the best way to go? Dude, start with somebody people actually care about. For crying out loud.
Like Josh Matthews?
Wait, are you... Yeah, the best announcer in the world right there. Come on.
I mean,
that was
worth
it. The first one to do it with, and good God, that's a question I got to ask, bro. Chef?
I actually like this. I like this stuff. Actually, I like this stuff. Anything TNA does more, I dig it. I watch it. I put the shit on at work. I'll try to sneak my little phone out there and be like, all right, what the fuck? But that's pretty cool. I mean, Robbie E starting off, I agree with you guys. It's kind of like, wow, you got Ethan Carter, you got fucking Eli Drake, guys who could really fucking speak and blow your mind. Put fucking Spud on there first, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not hate. Robbie E is a nice fucking guy, but come on, man. Of all the fucking guys you put Robbie E, put fucking Marie on there. Let us look at, some hot chick at least. Shit.
Now, one of the last things here. So Aron Rex was on NBC Sports Radio's Pro Wrestling 24/7 podcast. He put over Impact by Anthem and the Grand Championship. Apparently also compared his character to Liberace and Gorgeous George. I'm going to save the Liberace and Gorgeous George talk for when we actually get into Impact. But Brother Underscore, any thoughts on this one? Anything you want to say?
I'm not really a big fan of this latest Aron Rex character. But I will say that it is refreshing to see him going on the podcast and putting over Impact under Anthem, putting over the Grand Championship, the Rule Style, and doing it. For all intents and purposes, he put on a pretty darn good interview there. So thanks to him.
It's good to see one of the stars getting some publicity, and speaking well of the company. Because we don't really see a whole lot of that these days. It is kind of a bummer that it's happening at a time when he's playing a character that's so, I don't know, controversial is the right word, but a character that's gotten such a mixed response. Don't know a whole lot of people who are high on this gimmick, but hey, Aron Rex has always been a company guy, regardless of whatever company he works for, and he's not somebody that's going to go out and trash everything, so... I'm not surprised he gave a good interview. Like I said, I've always been high on the guy, just not the gimmick. So, good for him, at least.
Chef, any thoughts on this one?
Nope.
No, Chef, real fast, before we move on to Impact. I told you I was going to put you on the spot here. Now, you brought up a good point. I saw a little rant that you did on Facebook the other day, buddy. Now, the Impact rating this week was real low, apparently. And, I know you and Matt Hardy are not the best of friends. So, it's safe to say you're not ordering yourself a Hardy special, brown bag special from Don West. But now you said that you keep hearing people tell you Matt Hardy's bringing eyes on the product. And you said, is he really doing it? Because look at the ratings being so low. So, Chef, I'm gonna give it to you, man. What's the scoop behind this one? I think you have a good point. I think everyone in the wrestling industry knows about delete, but with the slumping ratings here, go ahead and take over, man.
My whole thing with it, and it's like I said, it always comes out to people like, oh, you fucking hating on Matt because, we do whatever we do, but that's not what it is. Like, at least last year, we were in the low to mid 300,000 views. Since, 2017, we've been in, the 200,000s. So, even Total Nonstop Deletion, which I enjoyed, it did shit compared to the Great War. It barely touched 300,000 views. And sitting back and you're like, damn, what the fuck? So if all these eyes are really on the product, that they're doing all this really cool shit, well, then why are all the views keep dropping? We have barely touched the 300,000 views, I think, once or twice. So if you're staying in the 200,000 views, it's really not bringing in any new viewers. It actually looks like you're losing viewers. Now, I'm not blaming it on Matt or nobody else. I'm just saying that if they're doing such great things and everyone's like, oh, this is the greatest shit ever. Well, if it's the greatest shit ever, why aren't you tuning in? That's my only point with it. They're not putting any kind of legitimate brand new viewers because you're going backwards with this shit. So that was my only thing with it. And I'll deal with the marks. I don't give a fuck what they think. If you want to fucking shut me the fuck up, put the shit on, put yourself as a viewer, get it to 300,000 views, get it to 400,000 views, and then be like, Chef, you're a fucking cocksucker. And I'll be like, all right, you got me. And so then, don't tell me that this shit is popping because literally you're not even getting to 300,000 views like you were before this shit.
All right. Well, you know what, Chef? I appreciate the rant. This is the HeelCast. Look, on the HeelCast, you can say what you want. We all got differing opinions, and that's what makes it good on the HeelCast. No holds barred, no punches back. It's what we do here. And that's the Chef's take, everyone, so love it or leave it. Now we're going to move on to Impact Wrestling, and I'm going to go right back to Chef because I know his boy Bram, James Storm, and Eddie Kingston. So first match of the night was them against Eli Drake. and Big Tyrus. They kept chiming in saying that it was a 3-on-2 match, and they emphasized how the DCC can't lose. Now, Drake kind of walks away. It did take all three to put the big guy down. Chef, what were your thoughts on all this?
I thought it was absolutely insanely stupid that, they looked better against the 3-on-2 than they did on 3-on-1. Fucking all of a sudden, Tyrus the Fixer was like fucking man meat, taking them all on. Now, it didn't last forever, but still, like, if you're trying to get these guys over, why do you have this slow fucking, just jump them? You know what I mean? Do the normal fucking street thing. There's three of you motherfuckers, one guy leaves, just jump this fucking guy, beat the shit out of him real quick. Everybody would have been like, oh, that's what the DCC does. They jump people. Everything would have been fine. But no, you got Tyrus throwing his fucking big headbutt out there, doing whatever he did. I mean, this shit was corny as shit.
This bugged the hell out of me. This segment did. First, you got the DCC coming out saying, oh, yeah, we're in the ass-kicking business and business is booming. And then it's like balls dropped all over the place. First, Eli Drake comes out, and you have a golden opportunity to get people behind Eli Drake. He just has to talk. That's all the people want him to do. Just cut a classic Eli Drake promo, and you've got something good here. Then he passes the mic over to freaking Tyrus, and this whole stupid angle of him not talking and letting Tyrus talk for him, I don't know what the hell they're trying to accomplish with this, but it's not working. All it does is kill Eli Drake's heat because nobody gives a shit about Tyrus. Then they start this match, and you have, for fuck's sake, you've got James Storm, being scared of Tyrus? Doing the, it's funny because he's doing the Funkasaurus dance move or whatever. Why is he doing that? He's supposed to be a serious badass heel, and now you're doing him, having him do this little corny comedic shit with Tyrus. Why is Tyrus even a threat to these guys? How many matches has Tyrus won in this company? He's like what, 1, 2? How? This guy is not a badass. You presented him like a glorified jobber for God knows how long. Now all of a sudden the DCC are having trouble with him. The only good thing that happened in this segment, the only good thing is Eli Drake walking out on Tyrus. That's it. Because maybe Eli Drake can get back to being Eli Drake now. And then, of course, it takes all three of the DCC to beat Tyrus. What the fuck is that about, man? Not a good start to the show, I have to say. Not a good start at all.
This match was a microcosm of the entire show, folks. Tyrus's promo was just awful. I mean, honest to God, they should have cut the segment. It was embarrassing. It was just pathetic. And then you've got the DCC, right? Sometimes they have suits, sometimes they don't have suits. Sometimes they wear masks, sometimes they're mimes. Who the hell are they? Let me tell you something. James Storm is the guy with the beer. And folks, this is the longest I've ever seen James Storm without a damn beer. That's always Jen the Storm's brand. He's the guy who drinks beer. But no, they have to get away from that. They got a plan. It's simple. They have a mission, and they're going straight forward. And if somebody wants to step up, they're going to knock them down. And their business that they're in is the ass-kicking business, and business is booming. It really sounds like a group without a plan when you listen to that. That is the most generic thing you could possibly say. Look, these guys are legit badasses. James Storm is a badass. James Storm, like FK9 said, should have taken and just run Tyrus around the ring and smash his head on every damn turnbuckle. But no. He's going to dance with him. But he might as well be a mime. This shit made absolutely no sense at all.
I really think that they've dropped the ball with the DCC already. And you know, the DCC, it was kind of a really big deal last year when it was coming out. And especially, you know, when you heard on the spoilers that it was Storm was back, Bram was back, Kingston, a guy you heard about, you know, he's Jade's boyfriend. You expected a lot. And look, this is a tag, you know, they're putting Bram and Kingston together as a tag team. You know, and they've not done shit as a team. And, you know, the James Storm for champ thing to get his real title reign, I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think it's ever going to happen. It doesn't seem like it. I don't get it. And, you know, hopefully with Jarrett and the right people coming back in, maybe they're going to recognize the value of James Storm, because James Storm and Jeff Jarrett, they got their thing. And, Eli Drake deserves better than Tyrus. He really does. And obviously it seems with him walking out, we're probably going to see a Tyrus versus Eli Drake feud coming up. At least they're like doing something with Tyrus. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but I mean, they're using the roster. I just, it's disappointing because I think Eli Drake should probably, be elevating himself with EC3 right now. And I think the DCC, I think James Storm should be the guy that beat Eddie Edwards. I think that, Kingston and Bram should be in a feud against a face tag team, or, I guess they're kind of feuding with DK or whatnot. The one thing that I will say I like about this is that it seems the DCC is either like legit tweeners, or TNA is actually doing what I've been saying to do for years, is like do some face versus face and some heel versus heel shit sometimes, because not everything's black or white, good versus bad. That's really the only thing that I'm liking with it. But the way they book these guys is just it's just not been beneficial. Moving on to beneficial, putting Mike Bennett with Braxton Sutter, for fuck's sake. The Alley, Braxton, Maria, Laura Vaness, Mike Bennett, all that stuff is continuing. We have, what are they calling it? The most controversial wedding, or I don't know. Some shit like that in 2 weeks in wrestling history. No, honestly, this is probably the most lackluster wedding in wrestling history. But so Mike Bennett was talking about being brothers-in-law with Braxton Sutter, or being like family or what the fuck ever. It seemed like the Braxton got down on one knee on accident, and Laura thought he was proposing, and he's not rich. He's playing out that rich girl vibe stuff. FK9, what are your thoughts on all this? Because I really don't have a lot.
I think there were a lot of good elements here. I do think it was really confusing with the Mike Bennett, Braxton Sutter segment, because they were almost acting like they were friends there for some reason, which, I mean, aren't these guys supposed to hate each other? That part was weird. I didn't understand that at all. It felt like I missed something there. But I am enjoying the storyline still. I think it's been a long running storyline, but it's been well told for the most part. I think all the characters have been performing their parts well. I think LVN really sold it. She being real excited. I mean, the guy's not rich, but hey, what the sexy giraffe wants, the sexy giraffe gets. And right now she wants Braxton Sutter. So that's going to be cool, even though I'm not sure how you accidentally propose to somebody. I am what I'm most excited to learn, though, is what Maria has on Allie. Because it's got to be something really, really big to have Sutter going through all this stuff just to protect her. It's like, hey, what'll happen to Allie if you don't do this. Well, if he's going as far as this, then what the hell does Maria have on Allie? I don't know, but it's got to be something really juicy and really big. So I am looking forward to seeing that. I'm not a fan of wedding angles in general. I think they're kind of corny. They're part of a past era that maybe should have stayed in the past. But God damn it, this storyline just continues to fascinate me. So what the hell? I mean, let's go for it.
Chef, what are your thoughts on this one?
I'm going to make it plain and simple. It was a lot of fun. I don't know why I didn't get my personal invite. I got the suit ready. So I was kind of emotional, like a high school girl, like I was left off, when my date didn't have my prom. So, that's about it. It was fun, though. I ain't going to lie. I had a lot of fun. It wasn't as, bad as people might think or whatever. So it was a lot of fun. Enjoy it. It is what it is. And hopefully, we finally get to see Allie actually wrestle like Allie we know she can.
I got a couple of things on this. First of all, let's give this angle some props here. They were doing this angle back at Thanksgiving, right, guys? I mean, they did the whole spit in the ring about Thanksgiving, right? And Allie came wearing a turkey suit. So this has been going on that long, but it doesn't feel like it's been going on that long. And that is a tribute to the performers that are in this. And there are a bunch of them, and they're all doing a great job. And let's face it, it is led by Maria Kanellis Bennett. She is the one that makes this whole thing tick. So, yeah, I think this is great, and I'm looking forward to this wedding in a couple weeks. But I'm going to say this to you. When you look at the show, and this is the highlight of the show, along with the Hardys, and I'm sure we're going to get to them momentarily, that says a lot about the quality of the show you put out. they really, really dropped the ball on this particular show, with this being the highlight.
You know,
They probably dropped the ball on this entire set of TV tapings, to be honest with you.
You know, I haven't been that down on the tapings. I think at least the wrestling has picked up. You know, there's some stuff I'm waiting to see how it plays out on TV. There's some things that I'm not too big on, but you know, I hate going here again, but like Braxton Sutter was outshined by everyone in this thing. I mean, look, Mike Bennett, as far as acting wise and stuff, he went circles around Braxton, and you know, Braxton's a guy I was happy got brought into TNA. I don't know that they're doing the right thing with him. I think they should maybe, you know, look for a heel turn, let him do something kind of bad or nasty. Look, I mean, when he's going to be paired with his wife is over. You know, there's a reason everyone loves Allie, and it's not just Maria. So hopefully that'll, you know, pick up. But do it for Braxton Sutter Anthem. That's all I have to say. Now, look, here's the deal, guys. Earlier on in the show, both Brother _ and FK9 were saying, you know, that with Aron Rex, they don't, you know, they're not into the gimmick, really not feeling it. They don't know too many people that are behind the gimmick. Well, let me tell you, there probably is no one who loves this fucking gimmick more than me right now. I fucking love the way that Aron Rex and Rockstar Spud are doing that. I think this shit is hilarious. I get it, it's 2017 and it's PC and everyone's got to be politically correct. I fucking hate politically correct, and I think this shit is a blast. It is funny. FK9, your boy Robbie E got defeated by Aron Rex. You know, Rockstar Spud is singing his name out. What were your thoughts on the match and all this?
To be honest, I really couldn't tell you anything about the match. I mean, you got two guys that I think the fans want to like, but they're stuck with a gimmick that makes that really hard, versus a guy that nobody gives a shit about playing the babyface. And Robbie E is such a pathetic babyface. You actually had people in the crowd doing the Aron Rex thing. I mean, it was audible. I mean, it weren't a lot of people singing it, but it was there. I mean, you could hear it. I mean, so they would rather side with Rex over the guy that they're supposed to be cheering for, because that's how bad Robbie E is as a babyface. So that was kind of funny. And as for the match, man, I really couldn't tell you a whole lot about it. I guess Spud causes a distraction or something, and then Rex hits the loaded punch. So he's now beaten Robbie several times in a row. So feud finished. Can we move on to something interesting? Maybe the Rex gimmick will work better against a guy that people actually care about. But yeah, I mean, but feuding with Robbie E is going to do this guy no favors. That does no favors for anybody. So I don't know. The gimmick isn't for me. I think maybe this is something that would have worked better back in the late '90s or something. Back when, you know, playing on, you know, gay stereotypes wasn't. I guess it was a bigger deal back then. I mean, the whole playing up playing on people's homophobia or anything, is that really such a big deal anymore? I don't know. It just feels like the wrong time and place for a gimmick like this to me. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be more effective against somebody else.
So Raven Effect. Robbie E's been around since 2010, right? Here's a trivia fact for you. Who did Robbie E wrestle in his Dark Out match?
In his what?
His Dark match. Who did he wrestle?
Like his debut tryout
stuff. His tryout Dark match in 2010.
Was it fucking Dean Ambrose or whatever that guy's name is?
Bobby Fish.
No shit.
Now, I realize, look, Bobby Fish has come a long way since those days, but let's face it, Robbie E has not. You want to know what's worse? In his first match, he defeated Amazing Red. There's a guy that I'd love to see come back. That kid can fly.
He beat Jay Lethal, too, for the X Division title.
And in his second match, the very next week, in a non-title match, he beat X Division champ Jay Lethal.
Oh, why are you
And then at Turning Point, he beat Jay Lethal again to become X Division match. At that time when they were pushing him, he logged victories over Rob Van Dam. He did get he did not beat AJ Styles, but it was a disqualification for AJ to win.
My God.
Jesus Christ.
Remember Cookie? Anyone remember her?
Yeah, she was the best thing. She was the best part of Robbie E.
Oh my god.
So here's my point, right? Robbie E is really like whatever, right? I mean, he just doesn't even hit the radar of being somebody that's important. Aron Rex, he gets his big push coming into the company, right? And his opening promo that he delivered, I thought was outstanding stuff. I was like, man, this is going to be a great signing. And now here we have Aron Rex getting into an angle with Robbie E. Okay? And he wins, yeah, it was distraction, and he adjusts the tape on his knuckles, and he punched Robbie out. Guys, this was a very, very, very forgetful match. If they would have just taken this out completely and just replaced it with that, rerunning of the commercial for that 70s show, it probably would have been more entertaining in my book.
Chef, what's your thoughts on this one?
I'm just surprised you guys aren't, more supporters of Aron Rex. No, I don't give a shit, honestly. Whatever's next.
I love it, dude. I think Aron Rex is hilarious. I think this entire thing is hilarious.
Yeah, but you're into that kind of shit. I mean, that's you. That's
I'm totally into gay dudes.
I mean, you're walking down, in your robe and your makeup and your lipstick. The only thing you don't have is a Rockstar Spud.
Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's CoverGirl, who knows? But, dude, I wish people would kind of get rid of the uptightness. It's funny, okay? And look, the gay dude's winning matches, all right? But here's the thing, look, and I know my boy Old School Heel agrees, and him and I have been saying this for years, but Rockstar Spud, he's a good wrestler, but this dude is literally like Bobby Heenan in Jimmy Hart's body kind of a thing. And I think this is where Rockstar Spud needs to step out and become that next great manager that we haven't seen since like the 1980s. And the thing I was thinking about today, look, if you remember Jimmy Hart would come out with new attire. He would wear a coat for the Nasty Boys, and he'd come out with Earthquake and a coat for Earthquake and whatnot. Look, Rockstar Spud can come out and do his thing with Aron Rex, and then let's say he manages, let's say, Braxton Sutter and Marche Rocket as a tag team, something like that. And he could come out wearing different apparel for them and do different things. Clearly it seems like Aron Rex and Rockstar Spud could be a tag team together, which could go somewhere. I doubt they'll really get that big of a push, but I think that it's time that Rockstar Spud kind of drops the wrestling role and becomes the mouth and becomes this huge successful manager and becomes the next Bobby the Brain Heenan, because I do think the guy is that good. I don't think there can ever be anyone that can ever lace Bobby Heenan's boots, but I think that Rockstar Spud is literally the only guy in wrestling that can be that next great manager. No offense, Maria. To move on from there, I mean it. I feel that strongly about Rockstar Spud.
No, that's awesome. That's fucking... Yeah, that's fucking awesome, because honestly, I'm like a big Rockstar Spud fan and never even thought of it like that. And then when you said it like that, I was like, yo, that's some good shit, because that would really fucking work.
That came to me when I was driving in my car home a couple hours ago before we did the show. I was thinking, like, I'm loving this Aron Rex and this Rockstar Spud pairing. And then I thought about it, like when you think about Jimmy Hart, because, Rockstar Spud's kind of like that little runt like Jimmy Hart used to get called. I mean, it's kind of how I looked at it. But, we had the decay, the saga with Rosemary and Brandy Rhodes. So, look, Cody's not around. So, they did the thing. Decay kind of comes after. So, I mean, Decay is not turning babyface despite the DCC feud. And the man Moose came to the aid of Brandy. Chef, actually, you know what? I'm going to go to Brother Underscore. I don't think I've actually went to Brother Underscore first. Brother Underscore, what were your thoughts on Moose coming to save Brandy, the Rosemary, Brandy stuff, all this?
It seemed very random to me. It seemed like they needed something for Moose to do and something for Brandy to do. So they felt like, hey, let's put these guys in an angle with the Decay, because they're coming off the DCC feud and DCC is moving in a different direction. So it just seemed like they needed something for them to do, and it was haphazardly put together. we'll see how it plays out. I love Moose. I think Moose is great. I love him in the ring. I think that, Brandy needs to maybe be, a little bit protected in the ring still, but I just think that she's just such a doll. I think that she legitimately loves what she's doing. I think that it shows, and I think that because she just has that passion for it, she will get there. I'm not as down on her as other people are. But right now, this just seems like, oh, we have TV time to fill, and we have talent that are here that we need to give them something to do. And, I love the mixed tag match. I've been screaming to do that on the show for years, literally, at this point. And so I love the fact that we're going to get it. But, what happens when her husband comes back? I guess he winds up feuding with Moose or something like that, because he gets jealous. But how do we even explain that? I don't know. I didn't get it.
Chef, let's go to Chef now. Chef, what were your thoughts on all this?
Nah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was something a little different, and I was like, all right, Moose is he's the fucking man, so it helps fucking Brandy a little more relevant, because like you said, a lot of people are kind of down on Brandy. I love Brandy. She's got one of the most amazing smiles. Like, anytime you see her in a ring, she really looks like she loves what she's doing, and you get behind somebody like that, and then, you don't really got to worry about the Brandy versus Rosemary for a belt, because this is how you can angle it. So, I mean, it's a good thing. Plus, anytime you can have Brandy work with someone as fucking talented as Rosemary, that's just a fucking straight up fucking blessing, because she can only get better with working with better talent.
I don't want to dislike Brandy. I don't. She's a gorgeous girl. She seems like a nice person and a good employee. I don't want to dislike her. But this is not the way to use her. I'm sorry, it's not. She had 3 promos on this episode, and I talked a lot about this in my review of the show, but she cuts promos like a ring announcer. She's still in ring announcer mode and not in performer mode. And that's really going to hurt her when you put her in promo segments with someone like Rosemary. And she really needs to work on the character stuff, because I swear she is not coming off well in these segments at all. She says backstage, I'm gonna set an example for all the other knockouts. I'm gonna give Rosemary a reality check. Bitch, watch that segment back. Rosemary came out and gave you a reality check. I mean, you got no personality in these promos at all. You're cutting them like a ring announcer, and then Rosemary comes out and makes her look like a complete chump on the mic. Just her acting and her verbiage and everything just completely schools this girl. And I don't know why, if you have a girl who is still working on the acting thing, is still just having trouble just staying in kayfabe, why you would put her opposite someone like Rosemary, who is just going to shine a light on how wooden and how unprepared she is when it comes to the character stuff. It makes no sense to me. Brandy, I'm sorry to say, she comes off as like a little entitled. Like, she thinks she should be in this spot when she's trying to act humble, okay, but still, she's got no business calling out the Knockouts champion. And if she is in the ring with the Knockouts champion, she should be fucking scared out of her mind. She shouldn't be staring her down like she was here. It really bothers me. It feels like they're trying to make Brandy into some kind of a star just because she's Cody's wife when she's obviously not ready for it. This girl should be honing her wrestling on Explosion, honing her promos backstage. She shouldn't be in segments like this. She's just not ready, and I think it shows every time she's out there. If you absolutely have to put her on Impact, hell, make her the ring announcer. According to Josh Matthews, anybody can do that. I mean, that's a good spot for her while she's working on her stuff on Explosion or whatever. And the Moose thing, man, that came out of nowhere. I mean, did these guys have some kind of pre-established relationship or friendship that I wasn't aware of? I don't know where that came from. So it felt very random, and I didn't really understand it. All I wanted out of this segment was for Rosemary to just come out and obliterate Brandy, and it didn't happen. And now they're being put in a mixed tag where the Decay are probably going to lose again, and I'm kind of dreading where this is going, to be honest with you.
So Brandy had the promos, And I remember she said, I'm still trying, I'm still learning. And, you know, I actually kind of appreciated that a little bit, to be honest with you guys. I think putting her with Rosemary is going to get her over, and that's something that they got to try and work on to do. Is she ready for the spotlight yet? No, not in this particular instance. You know, Rosemary can probably carry the girl. I don't know why they chose Moose to come out and make the save, to be honest. You know, I would assume they could have done it with maybe a face tag team. However, we don't fucking have any of those. And apparently now, I guess we're going to move on from Moose jobbing to Galloway in these grand championship matches, which is good because, like, how many times do we need to have that match? Although what we were given instead, I would have taken another one gladly. But I guess we'll see where it goes. You know, Cody Rhodes was a babyface. He had that thing going on with Lashley. I mean, Brother Underscore said, look, maybe we'll see Cody come back jealous, feud with Moose, whatever. So I don't know if that's where we're going or not. I think it would be a bad idea to switch Cody from being a face, but apparently he's with the Bullet Club or some shit now too, so I guess he's already back to being a heel. So I guess time will tell, but we'll see where it goes. I'll give Brandy props. I mean, Brandy's trying. You know, she's a beautiful girl, more junk in the trunk than a Honda. She looks good out there, smiles. Looks like she's having fun doing what she's doing, like Chef said. So, you know, I'll give it some time there. Now the Hardys are teleporting as we spoke, so they're heading to Tijuana. They're going to be taking on. It is Psychosis and is it Super Crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Juventud was the other Mexicool, but two ECW originals, guys I used to love watching back in ECW. I'm excited to see this match, to be honest with you guys, next week, just because, you know, I'm an ECW guy, and I still think those guys are acrobatic enough, probably at this age, to put on a decent match. So the Hardy World Tour, you know, it starts now. Brother Underscore, I know you've kind of seen a little bit of this firsthand, so I'm going to go to you. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm looking forward to this. You know, this is great stuff. You know, it has been almost 17 years since I've seen Psychosis perform. So, you know, I know what you're saying about having, you know, gas left in the tank, but I sure hope that he's got it left in the tank, because it has literally been that long since I've seen Psychosis on my TV screen. But it'll be nice to see him again. You know, I think this is great. They're going to go around the world. They're going to try to win these championships. And, you know, their segments in Tijuana were great, where Matt's signing, you know, or he's deleting some fan, and, you know, Jeff is signing the guy's forehead, and they're talking the Great War, and they're walking through the streets looking for tag team champions just randomly. You don't even know where they are. So it was great. It was refreshing. It's the kind of stuff that you don't get to see in wrestling very often, really ever. So this is great, and I love the fact that they're still promoting their match with the Bucks of Youth, right? And, you know, I was watching ROH this week, and the Bucks of Youth were still promoting the match with the Hardys as well. So now you're getting some cross-promotion, and hopefully both promotions can use that to, you know, increase the viewership of their shows. This is going to be good stuff. This is what I'm looking forward to next week. Really looking forward to it.
I'm going to go to FK9 because I want to save the best for last on this one. So, FK9, your thoughts?
This was the best part of the show.
Jackass.
Easily.
You're not BFFs with...
FK9, he just said he's saving the best for last right after I talk, and he hands it to you. I mean, son of a...
Well,
with this decrepit erection is dissing us, man.
I think you guys are missing the point that I'm closing this out with Matt Hardy's BFF, so...
So I went last. I went less than the last one. Yeah, this was the best part of the show. If for no other reason than you've got two TNA stars actually looking like stars. You know, where they're in another country. They're surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of fans. They're getting the star treatment. They're invading this huge arena where everybody knows who they are. They look like stars should look. And I'm watching this and I'm saying to myself, well, why is it that they can do that with these guys? And then we come back to the Impact Zone where, like, no one's reacting to anything. It's like, well, can't we do what we're doing with the Hardys here with everybody else? You know, is something getting lost in the translation here? I don't know. But if they could just take that and bring it over here, imagine how much different the show could be. But I really like the Hardys thing. I didn't really know what to make of this angle at first, but if the rest of it is like how they came across here, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the match next week a lot.
All right. Besides it being super redundant with the whole Hardys thing, I mean, let me not front. I mean, the crowd looked fucking lit. Like, they were going bonkers for the fucking Hardys, and I think that's really fucking cool. And, you know, all that other nonsense is cool. But I think with the Impact Zone, like, if you really look at what happened with the Broken Hardys and the booking itself, you had Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy, who beat Matt like fucking 5 times on like final matches, and then, you know, all of a sudden he beats Jeff Hardy once, and Jeff Hardy's broken, falling off a stupid thing. It's like, all right, whatever. And then fucking, you know, it was just, I think the Hardys have been so fucking redundant. It was the Hardys versus Decay forever. Then it was the Hardys, you know, versus DCC for not like a little bit, then back. It was just stupid. Like, the fucking Hardys is just, I just think it's been redundant booking. I think he's fucking extremely corny. Like the whole, oh, I got a premonition. Yo, we heard it like 9 fucking million times. I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fan of this shit. I'm completely bored of it. You know, I hope people enjoy it. I hope fucking 9 million people tune into the next thing, you know, whatever. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's extremely fucking corny. You know, are your little robes cool that cost like $5,000 for a robe? Yeah, whatever. But I'm just not a fan. I think it's stupid as shit. And then you got the 2 tag teams of Decay and DCC sitting around fucking twiddling their thumbs because you want to go on an expedition and collect fucking bootleg belts around the world.
You know, I enjoy it. I kind of like what they're doing. It's, you know, they're going to go wrestle teams and other promotions. Look, I don't expect we're going to see the Ring of Honor tag team titles. I don't expect we're going to see anything from Lucha Underground. You know, but it's cool that they're kind of going to other places. But Chef is right. Look, we have the Helms Dynasty, we have Decay, we have DCC, we have Swoggle and Robbie E. I'm kidding. Look, I mean, look, there's not many tag teams, and what are we doing? We're taking away the champs. There's Aron Rex and Rockstar Spud, but look, there's not a lot to do there. So now the belts are gone because they're going to go defend against other people. You know, he talked about the Bucks of Youth, and then he talked about Meek Mahan and the Day of New and the family of Wyatt. And I'm just going to stop right here because I'm sorry. I just got to do this little rant. They won't be facing these family of Wyatt. I just want to say this. Look, people want to shit on TNA and hate on TNA, and somehow TNA is like this redheaded stepchild. John Cena just beats fucking AJ Styles 2 weeks ago, wins a WWE title. And Bray Wyatt now is a WWE champion. I just got a message from my friend who actually watches this shit. So they devalue their title so goddamn much. And now your headliner for WrestleMania is Randy Orton against Bray fucking Wyatt, and people are actually retarded enough to tune in and watch this. Like, this actually puts asses in seats. It's stupid. It's just, TNA is just such a far superior product, and it sucks that TNA gets this kind of dog shit on them. I'm sorry to go on a rant. I just heard it. I can't believe the just garbage it is on the other company that everyone seems to give so much praise to. But yeah, so then again, you know, I do that, and then I have to mention that Mahabali Shura was in a match challenging for a belt against Drew Galloway. Galloway retained the Grand Championship. FK9, thoughts on this one?
This felt like filler to me. Galloway says that he wants to make the Grand Championship the most important title in wrestling, and he follows that up by defending it against Mahabali Shura. How did Shura even get a title shot? I don't know. I guess credit to him, it was probably one of his better matches because, you know, that's what Galloway does. He has good matches with everybody. But aside from that, you know, you didn't really see any advancement in any kind of storyline here or an advancement in Galloway's character. I mean, if anything, he was acting less heelish than he was when he faced Moose. So what was the point of this? To fill time? I'm not sure.
Let's go with it. Chef, what were your thoughts on this one?
I enjoyed the match. Actually, I like FK9 said, I mean, Drew Galloway makes anybody look good. You know what I mean? So, but I honestly thought Shura has looked a whole lot better. I don't know if you want to credit, you know, Drew as much that, but Shera looked good. So, and plus, Drew probably went in kind of cocky, thinking, "Oh, it's fucking Mahabali Shera. It ain't fucking Moose. I'll run over this fucking guy." And I mean, if you really look at the second round, he just beat the shit out of Mahabali Shera. So it could have just been more like him overlooking him, like, all right, who do I fight next? But I think Shera had a good showing, and hopefully Shera keeps grinding it out. And soon we're sitting here saying, "Oh, fucking Mahabali Shera's putting some good matches forward."
I think Drew Galloway could have a great match with a dumbbell. Honestly, he is the Gail Kim of the men's division, no doubt about it. But Mahabali Shera, we're talking about Mahabali Shera having a great match. This is where Anthem needs to look at Drew Galloway and say, "Oh, this is why this guy is so valuable," right? And I'm done. That's all I got for you, folks. That's all I got for you. Why did I have to watch this match?
Well, let's move on. So the Helms Dynasty came out for a preview. Now, I mentioned the Helms Dynasty was a tag team because we hadn't got to the segment yet. So they announced Andrew Everett is the weak link, and they turn on Andrew Everett. And now the Helms Dynasty tag team is no more. Chef, what are your thoughts on this one?
To call them a tag team blows my fucking mind when they've never tagged. Like, here you got two guys that are fucking badass dudes, and for some reason you've never thrown them in a tag match. Shane Helms calling Andrew Everett the fucking weak link when multiple times Andrew Everett has saved the belt for Trevor Lee blows my mind once again. I don't know. I mean, honestly, like, Helms is all right. Kind of annoys me. At least you guys, you don't have to see him like 2 feet away from you fucking barking the dumbest shit possible. He's not even that witty. So I'm just like, fucking, you're the weak fucking link. I kind of agree with Andrew Everett saying, you're riding our coattails and you're trying to live through us vicariously and all that other shit, because it really seems like he is. But Trevor Lee, can't say much about cavemen. If he wants to be a caveman, they're not the smartest fucking bulb in the bunch. So whatever. Or brightest bulb, whatever. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. Shane Helms, you fucking suck. You just broke up a fucking really good tag team. Fucking stupid.
We talk about the tag team division needing help and then removing the champions. Well, here's a great potential tag team right here that the company hasn't done shit with that could be champions in 5 minutes if you actually got behind them, and then you break them up. And where's the logic in that? I mean, the one good thing about this is that they're finally doing something with Andrew Everett, finally giving him a chance, although it didn't really make sense in the context of this segment. You got Shane Helms saying, "Oh, you're the weak link. You've blown so many opportunities." What opportunities? What opportunities has Andrew Everett even had? And correct me if I'm wrong, but just about the whole time that he's been there, he's been a distant second in this dynasty to Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee was always been the favorite, always been getting like the big push from Shane Helms, always the one getting the title shots, and Andrew Everett's just the guy, kind of the sidekick or the guy sitting in the background or trying to save the title for him or whatever. So what opportunities has the guy had? I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, this is the first real opportunity he's had. And hey, he got over as a babyface instantly, so that's a good sign. So I'm glad they're finally doing something with Trevor Lee, but with Andrew Everett rather. But it really sucks, and frankly, it's pretty stupid that they're breaking up the Helms dynasty in order to do it. I mean, if you needed someone for Trevor Lee to feud with, fucking throw Caleb Conley at him. Why the hell not? You got to do something with that guy. I don't see why they had to break these two up when this was a great potential tag team that, quite frankly, they could really use right now in the tag team division. So it's stupid. I think it was a bad idea, but it did end up getting Andrew Everett over as a babyface, so at least something good came out of it.
I've always gotten a kick out of you guys talking about the Helms Dynasty as a tag team. Everybody on this show and everybody on the internet talks about them as a tag team, and I've never seen it because they don't tag team. And so I don't understand why the big deal about breaking them up is. Andrew Everett is a guy that isn't given no opportunity whatsoever. And, FK, I get what you're saying about Caleb Conley and they got to use him, blah, blah, blah. But, Andrew Everett, he's actually earned it first. So give Andrew Everett a damn shot. Now, I might disagree with how they're going to do it. I might have preferred to see Andrew Everett win the X Division title from DJZ as opposed to Trevor Lee. And then maybe Trevor Lee over a few weeks or a month get jealous that Andrew Everett has taken the ball and run with it, and have the Trevor Lee be the heel turning on Andrew Everett in that way. I think that would be a better way to actually do this. But it really cracked me up when Helms said that Andrew Everett had failed him. It's like, Andrew Everett's been given opportunity after opportunity? Like what? What are these opportunities? Where did they come from? Could you name one? Because he didn't, right? And so I don't see how he's failed it. Shane Helms is taking credit for Andrew Everett even being in the company. Well, there is the possibility that he brought him in, but that, of course, wasn't announced, right? So when you look at this stuff, Andrew Everett, he does the face promo, tells Shane Helms you're wrong, and that he and Trevor have won gold everywhere without Helms, kind of leading you to think that maybe they were a tag team somewhere. Sure as hell wasn't in Impact Wrestling, because in Impact Wrestling, they didn't freaking never tag. So it beats the living crap out of me. The only question that I got out of this is, let's face it, everybody was saying that Shane Helms was in charge of the X Division. Is he still in that role? Maybe he forgot? I don't know, but somebody should take some notes from Madison Rain here, because the X Division has been the non-existent division. And that's really sad.
I think the reason, people are kind of frustrated about the tag team breaking up is because they never did anything with the tag team that should have been a big-time tag team. Multiple times, these guys against the Hardys would have been awesome to see. And it's just disappointing that literally nothing was ever done with them as a tag team. I guess the opportunities were all the other multi-man matches that Trevor Lee lost, all but one of two in this situation. So look, there's a blown opportunity for a very non-existent tag team division that's gone. But on the bright side, I mean, look, they finally look like they're going to do something with Andrew Everett. I'd like to see Caleb Conley come in and take Andrew Everett's role and become a tag team with Trevor Lee and actually team up. I think that Andrew Everett, more than anyone in this division, kind of is what the X Division is supposed to be, what the X Division was built on. And I think that, we're finally going to get him to shine. I bet you him and Trevor Lee have some fantastic matches. I think Andrew Everett kind of outshines Trevor Lee at times. And, the crowd was chanting, Andrew's better. There's times that he definitely looks like it. So, basically, we get one really bad thing, but I think Andrew Everett and DJZ are really the two X Division guys, and I think hopefully we're going to see Andrew Everett shine. I'd like to see him win the X Division title and do something, but we'll see how it goes, because truthfully, they haven't really known what to do with the X Division for a while. But hey, D Moore is back, Uncle Zebekiah is back, Jeff Jarrett's back. They know what the X Division's about, so hopefully we'll see something. Hopefully we'll see some tag teams, but I mean, this roster is just too small to be doing some kind of this shit. So as we're gonna move on to the main event, so Lashley versus Eddie Edwards. I'll be honest, I'm so fucking glad this is the last time we're gonna see this match, because I'm tired of seeing these two. We've had some great matches, but my God, it has been beaten to death. This is the reason I cannot stand to watch WWE. And now TNA has done it with some feuds, and this is one of them. Lashley retains. Davey Richards turns heel. Chef, you were dead on about either the best punch or either Angelina fucked up and just really socked Eddie Edwards' wife, or she sold the shit out of that, because it looked like she clocked her. So, brother _ your thoughts on Lashley retaining, Eddie or Davey turning, and so forth.
Yeah, Raven, when this starts, I'm saying to myself, Eddie versus Lashley again. Now look, admittedly, there is a ton of chemistry between these two. And it's a great match, Impact, but it also seems like it's the only match you got these days. And I'm thinking to myself, can it save a pretty hard show? Because up to this point, this show was pretty bad. And I'll say this much. I don't think that it was ever going to save the show, but it did about as much as it possibly could. We finally got the Davey Richards heel turn on Eddie Edwards in this one. We also got to be introduced to Eddie's wife, Alicia. Don't call me Alicia. Alicia, right? Who's at ringside with Angelina. Now, just as an aside, Chef, my question for you is, wasn't that about where you were sitting this week? Because I thought I saw you in that area of the crowd earlier in the show.
No. I was in lately I've been in the same little corner that the DCC walks out of.
Okay, so you weren't there. I don't know why I thought the way the camera angle was that maybe they displaced you. But at any rate, I have to say that this was the first time that I ever seen or heard Impact acknowledge that Davey and Angelina were married. You know, Josh kind of did it during the match. Actually, right after I wrote a note saying that they hadn't done it. It just seemed like something that maybe they should have done months and months ago. You know, Eddie Edwards does seem to be the only person who's figured out that combination of beating Lashley. But alas, we get the heel turn. We get the finale of this. It wasn't their best match they put on between the two of them, but it was still very good. I thought the Dominator by Lashley was just flat out sick, you know, and I thought that the Davey heel turn was pretty good. I don't know that it was the best heel turn that I've ever seen in terms of execution. You know, I thought that Davey could have sold it a little bit better, but he did distract Eddie, and it was a little different than you normally see. And so now we're set up with what appears to be a feud between husbands and wives, which, again, if you go back to my talking about having these mixed tag matches, here's a mixed tag match that doesn't feel random. This is going to be a brawl between husband and wife and husband and wife, and this is probably going to be a pretty good match with a whole lot of, obviously, chemistry with these folks, but a lot of psychology as well. So looking forward to what comes out of this, and I thought that this was a great heel turn. It was a great way to end the show. And the disgusting Angelina and Davey kiss. I mean, Raven Effect, that might be straight out of your playbook, buddy, but you know, it really worked in this particular spot too.
It is out of my playbook. Right. Chef, what were your thoughts on it?
All right.
Man, I loved it. The most memorable part of the whole show to me was Angelina Love knocking this chick out. Like, you know, it was just some real foul shit. Like, I'm definitely on record for not being a huge Eddie Edwards supporter, but when she punched her in the face, I was like, wow, that's some real foul shit. Like, I felt bad for Eddie Edwards. I was like, damn, man. Not only did, you know, he get his opportunity fucking snatched from him, his brother just smashed him in the face with a belt. His brother, his sister-in-law, if they want to act like that, knocks his wife out. Then he chokes him with a belt. Like, this was just some real foul shit. And the Davey turn to me wasn't even the coolest part about it. It was the Angelina Love. Like, she stole the whole ending of the show. Like, that punch was official. Like, she went on some Iron Mike Tyson shit, knocked this chick out. I mean, that was just real fucked up because they don't show how she's on the other side of the railing. So I don't know if she pulled her, like her limp body, threw her in the ring. She's fucking with her. Yo, Angelina Love's a fucking savage. I love this chick. I mean, the match was decent. Thank God it's over. But I'm super pro Angelina Love right now. She got the iron fist.
This is the order.
Good match. These guys always have good matches, but I'm really glad the feud's over too. We've seen enough of it. It's time to move on to something else. But the real story was the turn by Davey and Angelina, and execution-wise, honestly, I think this could have been done better, and I really wish it had been done better. First of all, Brother Underscore said it. They'd never even mentioned that Davey and Angelina were married. That just came out of nowhere. I really wish that had been established previously. But also, the turn itself, considering how close those two were for so long, I mean, they say it all the time, they're like brothers. They really didn't tease the Davey turn all that much. It felt like there should have been more foreshadowing to this for how close they were, and for Davey to just stab him in the back like that. That really needed to be built up a lot more than it had been, in my opinion. I mean, we only saw like hints of Davey being frustrated for a couple of weeks, and to go from that to him turning on Eddie the way that he did, it didn't feel like they'd earned this to me. Ideally, I would have wanted them to build that for, I don't know, at least like another month or two. Preferably more, in my opinion. That's something that you could let simmer for a while. So it felt like they were rushing that. I think the turn itself was well done. Angelina punching out Alexis Nevaeh was cool. Angelina being back, I can take or leave. Her last run kind of sucked, frankly. So, but if she's there to help get the other girls, help get the newer girls over, I guess that works, because they can't just have Madison Rayne jobbing to them all the time. And Lord knows Gail doesn't like doing that. So if she's going to work with the newer girls, okay. I don't want to see her going for the title again. But now we've got the Davey and Eddie feud, which we've seen previously in other companies, but
I'm sorry, I'm on a different page.
I guess this has sort of a different element to it because of the way the turn happened, but now you've got the women being thrown in there, and I don't know if people are going to be into that so much. I mean, was adding their wives to it really what this feud needed? I don't know. I guess it's something different, but I wonder if the women are going to be welcome in there. It just seems, maybe, I don't know, maybe people will appreciate it. Maybe that'll give them some more storyline material to work with, or maybe they're just having them in there is just kind of unnecessary. I don't know. A lot of mixed feelings on this one, to be honest with you.
I actually like the fact that the heel turn, it wasn't one of those typical ones where you see it coming a mile away. It was something different, and I kind of liked that. It wasn't the best match. Look, we've seen Davey versus Eddie in other promotions, but look, let's be honest. In TNA, the matches happened at least a dozen times between the two, between one night onlys and just random matches on TV. And now we're going to see more of it. I'm burnt out on Lashley versus Eddie. All I'm going to say is I'm so fucking glad this is the last time. I'm just so burnt out on that match. It's just been all they've done. It's either Lashley versus Eddie or like let's throw EC3 in there every once in a great while. I'm glad it's over with. Plain and simple. That's really all I have to say. And we're gonna wrap up here. Kind of close out Impact. Check out TNA Impact this coming Thursday. Actually, tune in, people. FK9, TNA brother _ dude. Chef, anyone have any closing thoughts they have to say while we're still on the air here?
You got to stop that, man. That TNA thing is dead.
I apologize. I caught myself.
You did.
He's been deleted. TNA dude has been deleted.
He has been deleted. He has been reincarnated. Yes, but he's still making the same bad jokes he's always been making.
All right, what would you guys think if you had the two husbands and wives in a steel cage match?
As far as who we want to win, or
like, what do you think? You think it'd be decent, or?
I think it would. Like, I think I've never seen Alexis Nevaeh. Don't know anything about her, but I think Angelina, Davey, Eddie, they can have good matches with almost anyone. But I'm not going to be opposed.
I think if they build this feud right, I think it could definitely end that way. I mean, this is personal, and I think you could take something personal. I think it would be a must-watch match. I really do. I think it'll be awesome.
I think Davey and Eddie could blow the roof off the place in a cage match, but the women are an unknown commodity right now. I think Angelina could do well in a cage if she's motivated, but let's be honest, she hasn't been motivated in quite a while at this point. And Alexis, I'm with Raven. I don't know anything about her. So who knows? They could add something to the match, or they could drag it down. Beats me.
What do you think about it, Chef?
Nah, I dig it. Like, I don't know much about her. I mean, I know she's an attractive chick and all, but I mean, people that I talk to, they're like, oh, she's really a talented wrestler. So I'm like, all right, I don't know nothing about her, but I mean, like you said, is Angelina Love going to give you that 100%, or is she going to mail it in like she did on her way out? Who knows? But I mean, like you said, it'd be a really nice build-up and a really nice finish. That's why I was like, man, let me ask them, because these guys are fucking super intelligent dudes with wrestling. So that's just my idea with it.
Much appreciated. HeelCast Nation, feel free to chime in on your thoughts on it.
Fundraising.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I'm Raven Effect on behalf of Chef, FK9, and Brother _. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. HeelCast out.